I.S.U.P.K.
But who do have solutions? The I.S.U.P.K. teaching this truth out of the Bible. Your pastors and your preachers is never going to teach you the truth out of the Bible. Give me Micah 2:1.
Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity.
It says what?
Woe to them that devise iniquity.
It says woe unto them that devise iniquity. Does anybody know what woe means? Woe means death and destruction. That God is going to push up on you. That God is going to give you death and destruction and judgment for not following his laws, rules, and regulations, which are the law, statute, and commandments of the Bible. Read.
Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity.
It says woe unto them that devise iniquity. So this is talking about certain people on earth that devising and planning. That's what devise means. That is planning your destruction. But God is planning the destruction of the so-called white man and the other nations. Because what? Look at what they've done to us. Slavery, beating us in the head, dragging us through the street, killing us at every turn. So God is telling the so-called white man and these other nations, woe, meaning destruction unto them. Now where's the love in that? But love is correction. Love is righteousness. And God going to correct the white man by putting them in the condition that we are in right now. So it says, woe unto them that devise iniquity, which means destruction unto the white man and the other nations. Read.
And work evil upon their beds.
And work evil upon their beds. This evil that they working is these plans that they got in their mind. To kill you, to beat you down, to rape, rob, and murder you. And not only you, but your children. And guess who also on that plan with the so-called white man to rape, rob, and murder you? Your so-called pastor and preacher. Because guess what? If you can go to church and have an AK-47 sprayed at you, guess what? The church have no solution for crime. The churches have no solution to stop your children from being taken. The churches have no solution for what Donald Trump said out of his mouth. So this is talked about the so-called white man and the other nations. And it says that they plan this upon their beds. Which means while they in their house, up there get ready to go to sleep, guess what? They done plan your destruction. And they done plan your destruction and plan for a way to get you into slavery and under death. Read.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
It says when the morning is light, they practice it. What did they practice? Your death and destruction every day. Put you in traffic stop, put you in harm's way, shoot you in the face, shoot you in the back, dragging you through the street, stopping you for no reason, accusing you and making you guilty when you have did no crime at all. So they practice it every day, and yet we don't stand up for it by coming back to these laws, statute, commandments of God. Read.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Because they're in the power of their hand. Because they're in rulership right now, and they practice it every day, and they are masters at it. They do this every day when the sun come up to go ahead and kill you, rape you, rob you, harm you, put your children in jail, put your children in ICE, Child Protective Services, and to put higher taxes on you so that you can't have nowhere to live, and they can rob you at every cent they get. But check this out. Look at Lexington Market. A newscast had just came on yesterday on Fox 45 about a rat being in Lexington Market stalls up there walking over and eating the food. And what did God say? God said those delicacies that's in Lexington Market, crab, shrimp, and lobster, do not eat it. That is an abomination. That is very filthy and wicked. I guess the rat got more taste than y'all. Because since he is filthy, what he going to do? Walk over filthy food. Matter of fact, give me Leviticus 11:7. That's the white man culture. He on Sandy. Who do you think the world's best hippies are? The world's best hippies are those dirty white people that the Bible calls. In our own shops, we ain't have no rat infestations. We are very clean and industrious people. But because these so-called white man, other nations own this, what happened? You got rats walking over your food, and you simply eating it like it's delicious. So you eating delicious filth. God didn't call for us to be eating unsanitary food. We are people that like to cook and clean for our own people, not for other nations. But what happened? Because we don't own nothing, they can come in here, claim this property, and sell you whatever the hell they want, whenever the hell they feel like. Give me Leviticus 11:7. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7. And the swine.
And the what?
The swine.
And the swine. Do anybody know what swine is out here?
It's pork.
Thank you, brother. Swine is pork. But God gonna tell you something about this swine. Read.
Though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud.
It says, even though he divideth the hoof and be cloven footed, and yet he cheweth not the cud, he is what?
Unclean to you.
What did God say that pork was?
He is unclean to you.
God said you can't eat pork.
That's
so when
right.
you up there getting that hot dog and you don't know what the hell it is, God said that for our people, pork is unclean, pork is unsanitary, pork is filthy. So the rat eating what you eat. He eating that filth and that pork just like you eat. The Christian church says you can eat anything you want, as long as you pray over. But give me Proverbs 28:9. Because the Christian church says you can eat anything you want. That God cleaned everything. That God made everything clean. But give me Proverbs 28:9. Let's see what God has on his mind to say to our people about this crab, shrimp, lobster, and pork. Read.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law.
It says, he that turneth his ear away from hearing the law. That means if you don't want to hear the law, statutes, and commandments that God put towards you and gave to our people, according to Psalm 147:19-20, it says, he, meaning he or she, turneth his ear away from the law. Read.
Even his prayer shall be abomination.
Even his what?
Prayer shall be abomination.
Even your prayers, when you praying over that pork, that crab, that shrimp, or lobster, shall be what?
An abomination.
An abomination. At the end of the day, even though you praying over it and the Christian church commend you eating that filthy stuff, God said at the end of the day, even though you praying over it, it is still filthy and wicked. Because why? God told you not to eat it.
That's
God
right.
told our people not to partake of it. Give me the one about fish and what's in the sea. Oh, is some more on that? Read.
Leviticus 11:8. Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
It says of that flesh you shall not eat. So that means you can't eat pork. You can't eat any meat that God told you not to eat. God said any other meat that he told you not to eat is unclean. But God got certain meats of his law that you can eat that is clean to you. But God said pork is unclean. Read.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 9. These shall ye eat. Verse 8. And their carcass shall ye not touch.
And their carcass ye shall not touch. Meaning the body or the flesh of a pig. Meaning you can't eat it and you cannot touch it. Which means keep it out your house. Keep it from your lives. Don't even think for you to touch it or to partake of it or to eat it. God said it is filthy, wicked, and that's an abomination. Read.
They are unclean to you.
They are what?
Unclean to you.
What is pork?
Unclean to you.
God said pork is unclean to you. So get this through your head that you cannot eat it and you cannot touch it. So if you can't eat it and touch it, why the hell are you going into Lexington Market and eating that filth and that swine? Now give me Leviticus 11 and 9.
Leviticus chapter 11 verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters.
And it says, these shall you eat of all that are in the waters. So anything that's in the waters that God deems clean, God says you can eat. Read, but it must have something of these two classifications, which means it must have these two things in order for God to say that you can eat it. Read.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters.
What is that? Read it again.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters.
So God said the only thing that you can eat in the waters is something that has fins and scales. Two classifications that he told you that you can eat from the waters. Do a crab have fins and scales? No, it don't. It got fins. It got back fins, but it ain't got no scales. What about shrimp? It got a fin, but it ain't got no scales. What about catfish? Now that ain't even got scales, but it got fins. So these two classifications in the Bible that it must have fins and scales, God said you can eat. But what does crab and lobster have not? What does shrimp have not? What does mussels or clams have not? It has not fins and scales.
Right.
Any more?
In the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
So whatever has fins and scales, those two classifications in the Bible, it says, them shall you eat. So if crab, lobster, and shrimp, and all the delicacies that you like out of filthy Lexington Market, if it don't have fins and scales, that means you cannot eat it and you cannot touch it. But go back to my topic. That we should not eat it. It is a filthy and wicked abomination. And God said not to touch it. Now, if you're bigger and badder than God, why the hell you think you're allergic to some of the things that are in the sea that have not fins and scales? Why you think you catch an allergy? Why you think how people die and having parasites in these crab, lobster, and shrimp? Because God says you shouldn't eat them. So what did he do? He gave it directly to you because you wanted to be hard-headed and you think you're bigger than God. Your arms are too short to box with the laws of God.
Help him out, bro.
Now go back and get me Micah 2 and 1. Because we wanted to be hard-headed, that's the main reason why the people on the side, our people, went into slavery. That's why our people went into slavery, for breaking God's law, for being hard-headed and stiff-necked children. Give me Micah 2 and 1, please.
Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity.
It says, woe to them that devise iniquity. So destruction unto the so-called white man and other nations for planning our demise, for killing, raping, and robbing us. Read.
And work evil upon their beds.
And even for them thinking and planning this upon their beds. Read.
When in the morning is light, they practice it.
It says when the morning is light, they practice it. So after they finish sleeping, planning in their head what they're going to do to you, they practice it every day by dragging you through the streets, taking your children away from you, putting high taxes on you, having you marching their parades and their things that they want you to do. But yet, no solution in a black community at all from your black leaders and your pastors and preachers. They up there, the so-called white man and the other nations, showing you how dumb when you deal with them in their events and their social gatherings. Read.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Read it again.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Because they have the power in their hand, meaning they have the power to do what they want for you. Because why? What they want to you. Why? Because this is their land that they stole, that they don't rape, that they don't rob and murder, so they can have this sovereign authority to do whatever they want to you, and they judge you by their wicked laws. They tell you that you shouldn't kill. They tell you that you shouldn't do this. But you know what? Kill ain't even in the Bible.
That's right.
You know that? Kill ain't even in the Bible. Because you got to kill to defend your family. Sometimes you got to kill animals to eat. Laws, animals that's according to the Bible that God said you can eat. Sometimes you got to kill to keep yourself out of harm, hurt, and danger. But what does the Bible say in Leviticus 20 and 13? It is not thou shalt not kill. It's la'av the rat to zak. in the Hebrew, which means thou should do no murder. And Christ said the same thing in the Bible when one of the disciples had asked Christ, what are the two greatest commandments? One of them was, thou shalt not kill, which means thou shalt do no murder. And what is the so-called white man doing? He going against law by murdering you every day. And yet, you do nothing about it by not coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments of God. Any more on that?
Micah chapter 2, verse 2. And they covered fields.
It says, and they cover fields. What does the word cover means? It means to take by force and violence. So the so-called white man cover fields. What are your fields? Where your house and home at? Where your land is at? That you already had, that you inherited. So what did he do? He stole the land from you. He stole the land from 77 billion North American Indians, killed them, starved them from food, and took the buffalo away from them. And what happened? He took their land, which was America. When you read 2nd Esdras 13:40 to 50, this land was originally the Hispanics and the North American Indian land. This was not the so-called white man. You cannot discover land if somebody already living on it.
That's right.
Read.
And take them by violence.
And take them by what?
Violence.
How did they kill Freddie Gray?
By violence.
How did they kill Philan Castro?
By violence.
How did they kill Sandra Bland?
By violence.
They killed them by violence, and they think that they shouldn't pay for it. But God got a judgment coming from them, which when you read in Micah 1, verse 1, which is death and destruction. And that's the judgment God is going to bring to America, the so-called white man, and the other nations. Death and destruction by treating these people right here by force, by violence.
That's right.
Read on.
And houses, and take them away.
And houses, and take them away. How did they take our houses away? By charging you a higher property tax than any known state in the world. They take it. Salaki, read it again.
And houses, and take them away.
And houses, and take them away. When they charge you a property tax that you can't even afford, or just like in D.C., where the land and the house is separate, and you gotta pay that property tax, what they do when you can't afford it? They take it away, which leaves you what? Which leaves you homeless, without a heritage, because they done took your house and your land away. Read.
So they oppress a man and his house.
They call it eminent domain, which means at any time that you can't afford it, they give you a certain amount of time to go ahead and pay it. Knowing you that you can't pay it, they take it away because you can't afford the tax on the house or the land. Read.
So they oppress a man and his house.
So they oppress a man and his house. How do they?
So they oppress a man and his house.
Read it again.
So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Eminent domain, which means they can tell you that they'll take your house for $50, or they pay you $50, and yet your house worth millions. And when you know you can pay back what they gave you, Salaki. You're not going to give up your house for $50, so they're going to take it away anyway. That's what eminent domain is. They give you they lowball you on a house with money, and yet you take the money, and yet when you can't pay it back, what happened? They don't have to take your money. They just take it away from you because they can. Come read.
So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
So they oppress a man and his house, and even his heritage. What is a man's heritage? His children. And what is in that man's house? His wife, his children, his possessions. So when they oppress you, and a man and his heritage, that means they take away your children. Your wife get depressed, and she goes sleep with another man, and yet you sleeping out on the street with nothing in your pocket and no house to go back to call your own. Now give me Exodus 1 and 15 to 16. Matter of fact, drop that. Give me Leviticus 20 and 13. Because it don't make no sense. our people out here up there with an unnatural affection and an unnatural spirit according to the Bible. The churches up there in the churches, they tell you you can be what you want to be. That you can be anything you put your mind to. And somehow people done fell into that unnatural affection, such as homosexuality. Well, if the church saying you can be what you want to be, and they got homosexual in the church, and maybe the pastor is a homosexual himself, let's see what the Bible say about homosexual. And this is a prophecy in the Bible also. Read Leviticus 20 and 13.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind,
it says if a man also lie with mankind, that means a man lie with another man as he would with a woman, or a woman sleeping with another woman, same sex intercourse. Read.
As he lieth with a woman,
as he lieth with a woman,
both of them.
It says what?
Both of them.
Mean the giver and the receiver, the top and the bottom. Read.
Have committed an abomination.
Have committed a filthy, wicked act against God. Read.
They shall surely be put to death.
They shall what?
Surely be put to death.
The Bible says homosexuals, the LGBT, or whatever they want to call it, they shall surely be put to what?
Put to death.
God said homosexuals shall surely be put to death. So if you out here switching, if you up there flying that rainbow with the LGBT made an abomination, they shall surely be what?
Put to death.
God said they shall surely be put to death. That's why he gives them AIDS. But the Bible gonna tell you about that. Read.
Their blood shall be upon them.
Their blood shall be upon them. Now answer this question. If your blood is upon you, what you think HIV and AIDS is about? That is what kind of disease? That is a blood disease that you cannot get rid of, that you will have for the rest of your life. And you can live with HIV, but you cannot live with AIDS. Because what? It tears your body up so much that you die from it. So God said they shall surely be what?
Put to death.
They shall surely be put to death. But your pastors, your preachers, the LGBT community say you can do whatever you want to. Okay, homosexuality is okay. But this goes for lesbians, homosexuals, man-on-man sex, woman-on-woman sex, pansexual, or whatever deviancy that you got in you. God said they shall surely be put to what? Death. So you lesbians, you homosexuals shall surely be put to death by God's wrath. Because it said their blood shall be upon them, which is HIV and AIDS in the Bible. And we ain't reading from no other book but the Bible. Hold up, show them what we read. And sexual transmitted disease, anything that you can think of, herpes, gonorrhea, that's in the Bible. And you up there taking Truvada for your AIDS. Trust me, you are not going to live long going against the will of God. Because what? He got death for you like the scripture said.
That's right.
Now give me Leviticus 26 and 26.
I'm saying what the brothers bring out is absolutely dynamic and true, man. First and foremost, the white man is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of. That's what we gotta understand. Like everything, screw down a little bit. Well, everything that the brothers are bringing out is absolutely dynamic, man. Like all these abominations you can find in the Christian church. Like this is the culture of the Christian church, man. It's to be against God and do what God hates, man. You understand? We gotta come out of the mindset of the world, man. The Christian church is making us a friend of the world. You understand? Everything that these brothers are bringing out in the Bible, they doing it in the Christian church. You understand? They doing it in the Christian church, and they teaching brothers and sisters that it's okay to be a goddamn homosexual. They teaching brothers and sisters that it's okay to be a goddamn whore and a homosexual, man. That's what the Christian church breeds. A bunch of goddamn homosexuals and hoes. That's the product of the Christian church, man. There's a goddamn homosexual and a hoe. And a loud-mouthed black woman. That's what the Christian church breeds, man. You understand? Give me that scripture that he just pulled, man. Christian church is a goddamn house of Satan, man.
That's right.
How the hell are they going to teach a young black man to be homosexual? Teach a daughter of Zion to leave her man. Tell that man to leave the house. on child support, man. This is the culture of the Christian church. They teach black people to break the laws of God. And then we want to wonder why we destroyed in the ghettos of America, man. We want to wonder why we in the hell that we living in. You want to know why? It's because of the Christian church. Because they teaching the culture of America. They told us to live the American dream. Now they got 7-year-olds, 8-year-old young boys trying to be a homosexual. That's the American dream. That's the American dream. Who you think your pastor? Who you think your pastor learned it from? Your daddy, the white man. The pastor is nothing but the white man's minion, the white man's troop. That's what the pastor. That's what Jamal Bryant is. Read that.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 26.
Go ahead.
And when I have broken the staff of your bread.
You understand? Broken the staff of your bread. What's the staff of your bread, black man? Anybody know? Anybody want to tell me what the bread is? The Bible was written in slang, man. The Bible was written in slang. The staff of your bread. What's holding your household together? Your bread, your income, your money, your income, your increase. You understand? Go ahead.
10 women shall bake your bread.
Oh, good night. Salah, y'all. Come on. Come on, man. Like, this is black culture 101 in the Bible. No, black man, let me tell you this. You got 2-3 baby mama, ain't no wrong with that. Get as many as you want. But they got a Christian mindset. Now all they mindset is to do is what to tear the black man, tear the baby father down. And they take all this bread. It says what? 10 what?
10 women.
10 women. Go ahead.
Shall bake your bread.
Shall break what?
Your bread.
I mean, they got your money, man.
That's right.
They got your money twined up. Before you get the check, and all you see is deductions. Deduction. Yeah, garnishes. Garnish from your woman. You understand? One more time.
And when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women.
10 women, go ahead.
Shall bake your bread.
So, anybody know child support was in the Bible? Anybody know child support was in the Bible? You understand? And God is against it. Know that. Black woman. God is against child support, man, but your pastor gonna tell you something different. Pastor Pork Chop gonna tell you something different in the Christian church, man. You know why? Because he's the white man's minion. He's the white man's minion, and the white man is the goddamn devil of the earth.
That's right.
That's what we gotta understand, man. And he wants to be wicked just like the white man.
That's right.
The white man is nothing but a goddamn extortionist, man. A goddamn bandit, man. A thief. You understand? A what? A mafioso. You understand? That's what the white man is, man. White man's the goddamn, he's the Diablo of the earth. You understand? That's what he is.
In one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight.
Then after they take all your money, black man, you got all these deductions on your dust. So I'm gonna give it right back to you, Barda. After they take all your deductions, they say, you know what? You take these little scraps, you be alright. And then they want to the black man. This is the design by the white man. You understand? You got black men out here making $100,000 a year and sleeping on the street because of the evil black women, man. The white man is making our very women's monsters towards us. This is the culture of America, man.
Trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, sold packs, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues for this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier trying to find a good ship. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord?